negative pressures to your retirement. Hey folks, I love being outside. Hopefully you enjoy the change of space here, but you do have some basketball going on over here and some birds in the background. But I like being outside and just being with nature. So that's where we're going with today's video. So what negative pressures are against you having an epic retirement? Well, this question comes from Marty. And folks, 90% of my videos come from comments you make, concerns you've got, emails, whatever. Hey, I love trying to help out. So keep the comments and questions coming. I'm trying to help. My name is Joe. I'm 58. I retired at 54. 4 years into this journey. Let's get started with the negative pressures keeping you from retirement. Number one, people. I'll be bored. Do you hear this from your friends? I'll be bored. I could never retire. I love my job too much. I'm too important at work. It's a mistake. How often do you hear that? At work, your peers. What are you doing? What do you mean you're retiring? You're too valuable to the company. You can't retire now. Here's a little bit more money. Here's a bonus. Here's a bonus 6 months from now. Your identity comes from work. What are you going to do? Who are you going to be? You're just going to be Joe after you retire. You're not going to be the engineer, or the office manager, or the best maintenance technician we have. The media, another pressure. Gloom and doom. I'm watching the media. The times are bad. They're going to get worse. Nobody's prepared to retire. The average balance in a 401k is $300,000. Your models. What can go wrong? The fear of running out of money. Just all the things that come from models. I don't fit the 4% rule. I need to take out 4.2% or 4.5% until I get my Social Security or your state pension that comes coming in. The market. Is there a recession coming? The U.S. dollar is getting ready to collapse. There's a global collapse coming. Another negative pressure, the economy, high inflation, things are bad. This is not the time to retire. You can't do it now. It doesn't make sense. You'd be a fool to retire in a high inflation time period. Hey, you're weird. Your friends aren't retiring. If you retire, everybody else is going to be 5 years older than you. You're going against the norm. You are making people uncomfortable. Maybe you should just, keep working. It's easier to work one more year. Every time I go to my retirement models and I put in there working 1 more year or 2 more years, everything gets better. Yeah, it's always going to look better to work to 100. Why not? Why ever stop? So all these are pressures. So how do I go about personally fixing those? How did I overcome those pressures to make the decision, the crazy, weird decision to retire at 54, peak of my career, peak of my earning years, when I had no debt, kids were gone? Why didn't I work 4, 5, 6, 10 more years and just really pile up a nest egg? Well, number one, confidence. I've talked about this in several videos. I'm going to just touch on it here. But where does confidence come from? That's the number one thing missing for people when they talk to me, send me comments, is I need confidence. Well, 4 steps, 4% rule, pass that. Talk to at least 2 financial advisors. Get a comprehensive software package. I got one linked below. And number 4, don't go it alone. Get a coach. Get a friend group, a retirement group to do intimate sharing to help you find problems, or go with a financial advisor, but do not go it alone. I recommend those 4 things, okay? Number 2, you gotta stress test your plan. Any fool could come up with a plan that works, okay? Put in 13% return on your money and 0% inflation and your expenses at $2,000 a month. Okay, that plan works, okay? Is that reasonable? Is it stress tested? Well, 13%, that could happen. What's more likely to happen, okay? So you got to stress test for bear markets, dying early, outliving, living to 95, 100 years old, high inflation. You got to stress test. So that's the number 2 thing I did. Number 1 is get confidence. Number 2 is you got to stress test your plan. Number three is, don't, you know, don't, chasing high returns is a common problem I have to talk people out of, or just make them think about what they're doing. When you're 30 years old, you're chasing high returns. Where can I put my money? I can weather the storm, the ups and downs that come. But when you're approaching retirement, you're not chasing highest returns at all costs. You want to lower your risk level and get the maximum returns you can at a lower risk level. Okay, and that's a shift. That's a shift in thinking there. So, anyway. So, hey, the fourth thing I got is a thought experiment. Okay, you're 70 years old. What are your biggest regrets going to be? Okay, so think about that. However old you are now, I'm 58. For me, here are my regrets that I predict. Did I work too long at a 55-hour-a-week job? Did I work too long? I did that job well, succeeded at it. I could have done that well for another 5 years, but working too long and not controlling my time was a big deal for me. And I didn't need to earn any more respect in the workplace. I felt I had a great career. 2, not starting a business. I don't want to start a business. There's risk in that. There's excitement in that. When I say start a business, folks, I'm working 5 hours a week, something like that. Maybe 8, something like that. Sometimes I just went a couple weeks without working at all. Okay, so I'm not. Don't accuse me of working. I'm having fun, helping people, making these videos. It's my hobby, but I do get paid a little bit. So I do have my own business. So I didn't want to not start a business because I worked too many years in my normal full-time job. What am I on? 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4. Not controlling my time. I alluded to this, but I just wanted to control my own time. I've said in other videos that I've spent 50% of my time in my job was doing things I absolutely loved. Felt I was making a huge impact. 50% of the time on bureaucracy, and that wasn't good enough anymore. When I turned 54, that wasn't good enough. When I was 44, hey, that was part of the game. Okay, part of the game, part of succeeding. But I didn't have to do that anymore. Next one, I wanted to travel, and slow travel. Let's go to Texas for 2 weeks. Let's go to Washington State for 3 weeks. Let's go to Maine for 2 weeks. Not these extremely quick, rapid, fly in, see everything, 10-hour days, come back from vacation exhausted. Has that happened to you? You come back from vacation and then you need a vacation from your vacation? I didn't want to do that. Go to Europe, go to Alaska. For a period of weeks. Okay, so relationships. I wanted to strengthen relationships. I still have my parents. I'm lucky enough to have that. Spend more time with them in the middle of the week, and I'm not rushed to come home and get something done at home because I got plenty of time. Focus on my health. Eat right. Exercise daily. More time to cook at home. Those kind of things instead of rushing meals, going out to eat, things like that. Let's see, living life on my terms. Just, that's kind of an overarching principle. I was 54 at the time, but living life on my terms. You only get one shot at life. Do you really want to give somebody 10 hours a day and let them tell you what you're going to do during that 10 hours? Or whenever you're financially independent, and you check that box, not check the box times 2, times 3, times 4, times, whatever money you need. And it's a common problem. I wanted to live on my terms, life on my terms. Basically, and I've said this before, but living in fear despite all the evidence. So that was a big deal for me. I don't like running my life by fear. Okay, so if I did all the work, okay, and I've done all the models, I've talked to financial advisors, I've got a coach, I've got a retirement group, I've stress tested things, I've got something to retire to. all logic says it's time to jump, let's jump. So fear is a motivator for me. I don't like doing things out of fear. And remember that information trumps fear. So this is why a lot of you are looking at this YouTube video. You're gathering information. But you know, you got to do a little bit more than just talk to people or listen to people on YouTube, okay? You got to do some of the hard work of math with this, you know, and there are software packages that can help you with that. There are financial advisors that can help you with that and help you stress test. And when you know how easy your plan can fail, you can actually countermeasure that, strengthen it up, and have more confidence going into retirement. So that's how I handle the negative pressures to me retiring. That's how I do it, okay? How do you handle them? Is there any trick, tool you've got that can help this group? Maybe I'll make a video from it, but let me know in the comments. What regrets would you have at 70 in your thought experiments? 70 years old, I doubt if you're going to say, I should have worked 1 more year, 2 more years after I had a model that worked. Okay, after I had a plan that worked and that I stress tested, ran it by other people, you're probably not going to say I should have worked 2 more years. I'd be surprised, but let me know in the comments if I'm completely wrong on that. So anyway, that's tonight's video. This is Joe